the monk who sold everything to save his village. The monastery was burning, and Brother Kenji had exactly 3 hours to become the richest man in Japan, or watch everyone he loved die. This isn't a story about religion. It's about what happens when a man who owns nothing discovers he has everything to lose. Spring, 1847. The Ekizan province. Brother Kenji knelt in the monastery garden, hands deep in soil, when he heard the screams. He ran toward the village below. What he saw stopped his heart. Samurai. Dozens of them. Lord Takeda's men, torching homes, dragging families into the square. The warlord himself sat on horseback, watching the chaos like theater. Kenji pushed through the crowd, found the village elder bleeding on the ground. He wants 10,000 ryo, the old man gasped. Gold coins. A fortune. 3 days. Or he takes our children as slaves. Kenji looked around. Fishermen. Farmers. Rice growers. Together, they might scrape together 50 ryo. Maybe. Lord Takeda's laugh cut through the smoke. Your Buddha can't help you now, monk. Kenji walked straight toward him. Every instinct screamed to stop, but his legs kept moving. I'll get your gold, Kenji said. The square went silent. Takeda leaned down from his horse, amused. You own a rice bowl and a prayer mat. Give me 3 days. 3 hours, Takeda said. Sunset. Or I start with the children. He rode off laughing. The villagers stared at Kenji like he'd lost his mind. Maybe he had. A monk with nothing, promising everything. But Kenji had something Lord Takeda didn't know about. Something he'd kept hidden for 20 years. He ran back up the mountain. The abbot found Kenji in his cell, pulling up the floorboard. What are you doing? Kenji lifted out a small wooden box. Inside, a single object wrapped in silk. A jade seal. The personal stamp of the shogun's treasurer. Before I was a monk, Kenji said, I was something else. The abbot's eyes went wide. You were Kenji Matsuda, the merchant prince. 20 years ago, Kenji had been the most powerful trader in Edo. Ships, silk, weapons. He'd built an empire before he was 30. Then his wife died in childbirth, taking their son with her. He'd walked away from it all, given everything to the poor, become nothing. But he'd kept the seal, the one thing that could open any door in Japan. If I use this, Kenji said, I become that man again. Everything I've built here, everything I've learned, gone. The abbot put a hand on his shoulder. Some prisons we choose. Some choose us. But those children didn't choose any of this. Kenji looked at the seal, then at the smoke rising from the village. He had 3 hours to remember how to be someone he'd spent 20 years trying to forget. I need your fastest horse, he said. Kenji rode like his past was chasing him. Because it was. The merchant district of Kanazawa. 45 minutes away. He had 2 hours left. He burst into the largest trading house, still wearing his monk's robes. Men in expensive silks turned and stared. I need to see Ichiro Tanaka, Kenji announced. A guard blocked his path. Master Tanaka doesn't see beggars. Kenji held up the jade seal. The guard's face went white. Within seconds, Kenji was in the back room. Ichiro Tanaka sat behind a desk covered in ledgers. Older now, grayer, but the same sharp eyes. Kenji Matsuda, Tanaka whispered. They said you were dead. I need 10,000 ryo. Now. Tanaka laughed. Even if I had it, which I don't, why would I give it to you? You disappeared. Left deals unfinished. Cost me a fortune. Kenji leaned forward. Because I know where the Dutch ship is landing. Tanaka stopped laughing. The one carrying Portuguese rifles, Kenji continued. The one every warlord in Japan is trying to find. I know when and where. A lie. But a good one. Tanaka's fingers drummed the desk. Even if that's true, I'd need collateral. The monastery, Kenji said. The land. 300 acres. Temple buildings. Everything. That's not yours to offer. It will be. Give me the gold. If I don't repay you in 30 days, it's yours. Tanaka studied him. Why? Why come back for this? Kenji thought of the children in the square. Because some debts you can't walk away from. Tanaka agreed. But here's where the story gets interesting. Because Kenji just made a deal that would either save everyone or destroy the only home he had left. If you want to see how this unfolds, subscribe now. Trust me, what happens next will change how you think about sacrifice forever. Now, Kenji had 1 hour left and gold that wasn't really his. But Lord Takeda wanted cash, and Tanaka had only given him a promissory note. The real challenge was just beginning. Kenji rode to the moneylender's house. Master Chen, a Chinese merchant who'd financed half of Kenji's old empire. 30 minutes until sunset. Chen's servant opened the door, looked at the monk's robes, started to close it. Tell him Matsuda is here, Kenji said. Tell him I'm calling in the debt. 5 minutes later, he sat across from Chen. You saved my family during the rice famine, Chen said softly. I told you I'd repay you. But this. He looked at Tanaka's note. This is madness. I need it in coin. Now. That much gold. It's in my vault, but Matsuda-san, what you're asking. I'm not asking. Chen stared at him. Then slowly nodded. You've changed. And yet you haven't. His men brought the gold. 10,000 ryo in wooden chests. The weight of it nearly broke the horse. Kenji rode back toward the village. The sun touched the horizon. He wouldn't make it. Then he saw them, village children standing along the road, forming a human chain. As he passed each group, they ran ahead, clearing the path, warning him of obstacles. The fisherman's daughter. The farmer's sons. All of them risking punishment to help him. The sun was a sliver of red when Kenji reached the square. Lord Takeda sat on his horse, sword drawn over a kneeling child. Wait! Kenji shouted. Kenji dropped the chests at Takeda's feet. Gold coins spilled into the dirt. Takeda's eyes widened, then narrowed. Count it, he ordered his men. They counted. 10,000 exactly. But Takeda didn't move. Interesting. A monk produces a fortune in 3 hours. He circled his horse around Kenji. Which means you're not really a monk, are you? The village held its breath. I'm whoever I need to be, Kenji said. Takeda smiled. I know who you are. Kenji Matsuda. The merchant who became a beggar. He leaned down. This changes things. We had a deal. We had a deal with a worthless monk. But Kenji Matsuda? His word is worth something. His reputation, his connections, his knowledge of trade routes. Kenji's stomach dropped. Here's my new offer, Takeda said. The gold buys the village 1 month. But you come work for me. Use that brilliant mind to make me richer. Do that, and I leave these people alone forever. And if I refuse? Takeda gestured to his samurai. I take the gold anyway. And the children. Your choice, merchant prince. Save them for a month or save them for good. The villagers started shouting. The abbot stepped forward. Don't do it, Kenji. Don't trade your soul. My soul. Kenji's voice cracked. My soul isn't worth one child's freedom. But Takeda wasn't offering freedom. He was offering a different kind of prison. Kenji looked at the gold, at the children, at the monastery on the hill where he'd found peace. "I need time to think," Kenji said. "You have until dawn," Takeda replied. "Choose wisely, monk. Some men are meant to be powerful. Denying it doesn't make you holy. It just makes you a coward hiding in robes." He rode away with his men, leaving the gold. The village celebrated. But Kenji walked back to the monastery alone. Kenji sat in the meditation hall. The abbot found him there at midnight. "You're thinking of saying yes," the old man said. "If I don't, he'll come back. Men like Takeda always do. And if you do, you become what you escaped. Power, greed, the endless hunger for more." Kenji's hands trembled. "I don't know how to be both. The merchant and the monk. Maybe Takeda's right. Maybe I've been hiding." The abbot sat beside him. "Let me tell you about Siddhartha. Before he became Buddha, he was a prince. He had everything. He gave it up, became an ascetic, owned nothing, starved himself nearly to death seeking enlightenment. I know this story. Do you? Because he didn't find enlightenment in poverty either. He found it in the middle path. Neither indulgence nor denial. He took a bowl of rice from a village girl and ate." Kenji looked up. "The path isn't about having nothing," the abbot continued. "It's about attaching to nothing. You can touch gold without gripping it. You can use power without letting it use you." "How?" "By remembering why you're holding it." The abbot stood. "There's a third option you haven't considered. You're thinking like a monk or a merchant. Try thinking like both." He left Kenji alone with those words. And slowly, as dawn approached, Kenji began to see it. At sunrise, Kenji returned to the square. Lord Takeda waited with his samurai. "Your answer, monk." "I accept," Kenji said. Gasps from the villagers. The abbot closed his eyes. "But I have conditions," Kenji continued. Takeda laughed. "You're not in a position to." "You want the merchant prince? Then you get all of him, including the part that negotiates." Kenji stepped forward. "I'll work for you for 1 year. In that year, I'll triple your wealth using my knowledge and connections." Takeda's eyes gleamed. "But," Kenji said, "every coin I make you, half goes to building schools in this province. Schools for the children of farmers, fishermen, and merchants. Places where they learn to read, write, calculate, and trade." "Why would I agree to that?" "Because educated people make better workers, better traders, better soldiers. In 5 years, this province will be the richest in Japan. And you'll be the warlord who created it." Takeda considered this. "Also," Kenji added, "you'll be known as the lord who invested in his people, not the one who enslaved children. History remembers builders, not bullies." A long silence. Then Takeda smiled. 1 year. Triple my wealth, build your schools. But if you fail to triple it, you work for me for 5 years. No conditions." Agreed. They sealed it with the formal bow. Takeda rode away. The villagers surrounded Kenji, unsure whether to celebrate or mourn. "What have you done?" someone asked. "Something new," Kenji said. 1 year later, Kenji stood in the first school, watching children learn mathematics. 20 schools across the province. Lord Takeda's wealth had quadrupled. But more importantly, the children who'd stood in that square now sat at desks. Tanaka had been repaid. The monastery's land secured. Kenji wore merchant clothes during the week and monk's robes on Sundays. The abbot found him at the school. "You did it," the old man said. We did it. But I'm not sure what I am anymore. Monk, merchant, both, neither. Does it matter? Kenji watched a young girl solve an equation. The fisherman's daughter. I spent 20 years believing I had to be one thing, Kenji said. Either pursue wealth or reject it. Either engage with the world or escape it. But maybe the real question isn't what we own or don't own. What is it? Why we're here at all? What we do with whatever we're given? The abbot smiled. Now you're thinking like Buddha and a businessman. Kenji laughed. Is that allowed? Who's going to stop you? That evening, Kenji walked between the monastery and the merchant district. Between two worlds he'd thought were opposites. He'd sold everything to save his village. Then he'd bought it back differently. Not with gold. With purpose. Here's what most people miss about this story. Kenji didn't choose between being a monk or a merchant. He chose to be someone who used everything he had for something that mattered. That's the real lesson. If this story changed how you think about success, sacrifice, or purpose, subscribe to this channel. We share stories like this every week. Ancient wisdom for modern challenges. Hit that subscribe button now. The monastery still stands. The schools still teach. And somewhere between them, there's a path that only appears when you stop walking away from who you are and start walking toward who you're meant to become. Sometimes the only way forward is to bring everything with you. Even the parts you thought you'd left behind.